Right, we have somebody coming. Hi, Emily. All right, well, welcome to our 2022 Fall Talent Series. Our sponsor for this event is iHeartMedia. They're proud to be a part of the Fort Collins business community and a sponsor of this talent series. iHeartMedia is home to 8 Northern Colorado business radio stations, including 96.1 KISS FM, Big 97.9, 107.9 KBPI, and 600 AM KCOL, along with digital media partnerships to help drive consumers to your local business through streaming, mobile display ads, podcasting, and much more. So we're really lucky today to have Mark Ewing from the city of Fort Collins as our presenter today. And as you know, our topic is jobs you've really never heard of, right? So Mark is a senior professional in human resources. He's a high school math teacher turned human resources professional. His first experience in HR was as executive director at a nonprofit outdoor camp and retreat center, where he discovered his love for people and development were a natural fit in this new industry. He first served as recruitment and training manager and staffing director for youth and service-oriented nonprofits in Oklahoma and Colorado. Since then, he worked in talent acquisition in the global corporate industry and today enjoys serving his community as recruiting specialist with the city of Fort Collins. Mike and his wife, Debbie, were classmates at Chandler High School in Arizona and have 5 grown kids living in Illinois, Texas, Missouri, and Kansas, and a 1-year-old grandson in Texas. Mark and Debbie are both talent acquisition professionals and live in Northern Colorado. Mark's favorite things are mountain sports, church and volunteer work, spicy food, and domestic, all 50 states, and international travel. I turn it over to Mark Ewing with the city of Fort Collins.
Great, thank you, Yvonne. I'm fiddling a little bit here to get my show screen for you, but glad to join you this morning. Really, the reason I wanted to share this morning are two. One of them is just to share about the city of Fort Collins, all the great jobs we have here, but also to just share a little perspective that might be helpful for anybody that's a job seeker anywhere, really, and to look into kind of a neat, cool strategy to do that. So I'm having trouble with my show screen. Problem here. Just disappeared. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
We can see your screen. It's in.
Did you see my face, or are you able to see the other screen here? Okay, I see why. I was already on share screen and I have to take it off and back on again, so we're good. Okay. So just a moment. Okay, so I have a presentation for you. It's some is just looking at some things and talking, and I have a bunch of videos for you that are really interesting. Some are general ones about City of Fort Collins, and some are from specific hiring managers for jobs that we have that are really unusual. And so let me show you our whole screen here. And how are we looking there? See okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Great. So again, like I said, this is called Jobs You've Never Heard of. So our first little slide here, there are 2 of us that are full-time recruiting specialists with City of Fort Collins, Cameron DeRoyne and myself. Cameron had a last-minute conflict thing, so he didn't make it, but he and I are the 2 that are heavily involved on a daily basis with recruitment for the city. Something I wanted to point out is a lot of times you think of the City of Fort Collins, you think of the locations, the parks and the buildings and all that too. But I want to shift gears today from the physical location instead to the City of Fort Collins, the employer. Okay, so the people and the organizations, that kind of thing too. And you'll see on my slide here, I have some bullet points. Today, I'm going to show you about all of our different departments and locations, just a quick tour through all that. We'll also mention, and you'll see at the very end, as a large employer, we have a constant flow of new jobs. You might check one week, see some jobs, check the next week, you'll see some new jobs coming through. So we have a lot of positions that come through. And like I have highlighted already, many of these are jobs that you've never heard of before. And that's my point today, is to highlight those things. So first of all, I just want to share a little video with you. About 10 minutes long, but kind of a fun look at a big picture and individual picture of the city of Fort Collins. So here we go.
Hey, got to do it.
There you go. It's funny, when I first watched that, obviously we made that video to show off, all the things about the city. But with all the details and numbers, obviously it takes people to do every single thing and every single step of that. So you can see, just like there's a wide variety of things to do, including just living life in Fort Collins. We just need people, and people come and go and move and all that too. So I'm going to run through just a quick look at the different departments that we have with the city, kind of give an idea. So one of our areas is called Executive Services. That's where the city clerk's office, city manager, and diverse DEI initiative staff there too. So the whole point of this department is to support and manage the city council, and then also with the executive city leadership. And just to say, it's like, oh, I'm not going to be a city manager. Well, there are lots of positions with and around that too. So if that area interests you, there are administrative roles and others that come up all the time. Next to look at is the city attorney's office and municipal court. So the city's legal team supports all areas and departments for the city. And then municipal court enforces our local laws among the citizens of the city. And these are all downtown. Also, we have financial services. Obviously, they serve and support many departments of the city. And what you see listed there are some of our primary teams within financial services. So each one doesn't represent one job. Some of those areas represent maybe even 20 jobs. Next area, planning, development, transportation. We see this all over the place. These are the folks that you see out and about in the city supporting transportation and infrastructure. Another department, sustainability services. This is one that typically people think about in terms of environmental, which is true. That's one of our, but we have 3 different branches that we have environmental service or environmental sustainability about our areas like that. Economic sustainability is about supporting local businesses through ongoing communication and advisement. Also for opening, when there's federal, you've probably heard of federal grants that are for local businesses, the city actually receives and manages those. And then the bottom one, social sustainability, seeks to support a diverse and equitable community and meet the needs of all residents, such as in, you saw this in the video, affordable housing, rental assistance, supportive services, and then shelter for the homeless as well, that area. Okay, and then, so here we have a position, an example of a unique position here in the Economic Health Department, and the hiring manager for this position can actually present and describe that. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Shannon Hine. I'm the Small Business Program Manager for the Economic Health Office with the City of Fort Collins. The Economic Health Office really acts as the business voice for our business community across the city organization, and is our economic development arm for the city. Recently, we've gone through the process of hiring a brand new position called the Capital Projects Business Liaison position, or we could give it a new acronym, CPBL. City loves acronyms here. So this is an opportunity for us to create better coordination across the organization when it comes to large construction projects, and especially those that are impacting our small businesses, brick and mortar, retail, restaurants, those types of things. This is a brand new position, and a position that we really are piloting out of the Economic Health Office, but they will work in coordination with both our office, utilities, and planning, development, and transportation, which is a wide swath and something that we're well aware of, that boundaries and expectation setting are going to be really important for this position. I would say the qualifications and what we were really looking for is someone that has the human skills in addition to construction, potentially communication, someone that is well versed in customer service, conflict management, and especially change management. Really someone that can go in and have a wide view of what's going on with the project, but can also walk into the business's place and talk to the owner and maybe have a really tough conversation and provide empathy and kind of that trusted go-to person that they can call if they're having trouble or feeling scared or confused about the project.
So Shannon, this sounds like a hard job. What do you think would be interesting or fun about the job?
It will, I'm not really sure what I think it will be a hard job, but I think the best part about it is the Economic Health Office, we really get to engage with small businesses. We get to hear stories that maybe other people don't get to hear every day. You get to understand what motivates these entrepreneurs and these small business owners, and how they're, you know, creating the culture and the amenities of our community. They're really the lifeline to Fort Collins, and so somebody that they can trust and walk in and kind of support them as we're doing this really needed infrastructure to keep our city beautiful and well maintained and running like it should, but also understanding that there's some trade-offs to that. So it's going to be hard, and especially as a new position, but I think we can find the right person who kind of encompasses all.
Has anybody ever heard of a job like that before? So just a very neat, practical position, and I love talking about it too. So back to some other of our departments. We have community services, which includes several areas you'll see on there. This is the department that people see all the time. So natural resources, parks, recreation, that we're very aware of, that they're out and about there too. And then also still in community services, special locations, we have the gardens on Spring Creek, Museum of Discovery, Art and Public Places, and the Lincoln Center. So those again are staffed fully by city employees. Then moving ahead, we do have another position in one of those areas in community services. That's kind of like a very unique one. And so I'll introduce Julia to talk about that.
Hi, my name is Julia Fetter, and I am the Environmental Program Manager with the Natural Areas Department within the City of Fort Collins. So I oversee our land conservation efforts, as well as our long-term planning and our large-scale project management work. So the Natural Areas Department plays a key role to setting the fabric of the City of Fort Collins and its great reputation for being a place for outdoor enthusiasts and those who really love to have the integration of open spaces and natural areas within their communities. We own and manage 45,000 acres of land across the region, and these are great places for wildlife and habitat to thrive, as well as for our community members to find respite, to exercise, and just to integrate themselves and connect with nature. So we're really excited because we currently are hiring for a land conservation lead specialist. And this is a person who's going to work closely with me and with the department leadership to guide our land conservation work. So the City of Fort Collins is one of the largest land owners within the Larimer County and Northern Colorado region. And within that, the Natural Areas Department played a key role. So this position specifically is forging relationships with landowners, with families that have deep ties to the land, but those that are ready to pass on their property. So key to this work is relationship building. It's really important to know that this takes time, and to make sure that you're listening to the desires and the motivations of those landowners. Obviously, with our goal to conserve this land for years to come, so that our community members can appreciate amazing scenic views and have those important places that they get to go within their communities. A good applicant for this job would be really familiar with Western water, Western land and ownership, even maybe familiarity with the deep agricultural roots of Northern Colorado and Larimer County. They would be a relationship builder. They'd be a great listener, and they'd be a visionary. They would be looking to drive forward this vision that the city has, the community has, and obviously the Natural Areas Department, to be moving this work forward and to conserve land for our growing community and make sure that this stays a part of that fabric of Fort Collins. So we really appreciate the city's relationship with the Chamber of Commerce, and we know that thriving businesses and a thriving community and those resources can sit hand in hand with the conservation of land and access to those outdoor spaces. We're really excited to continue to work together and drive forward what makes Fort Collins unique, which is really that access to unique, locally owned and run businesses and access to those outdoor spaces for all of those amazing folks who are in Fort Collins and coming to Fort Collins to drive this community forward.
There we go. Another unique one. So continuing on, we have plenty of departments. Next is Fort Collins Connection, which is the city's municipal internet broadband utility. Next department is information and employee services. This and within those, most of those are self-explanatory, but CPIO provides information to residents and the media on city government issues and news and services. The operations department provides and maintains the city's property, fleet vehicles, facilities. Big, huge job there too. Then, and police services, of course. So you might have seen that was in the first video we saw. Fort Collins Police Services is a progressive and professional organization currently employing 230 sworn officers, hard to believe that, and 118 non-sworn officers. Their vision is to make Fort Collins the safest community in the nation. And then utility services. This is a big, huge one that you do see every day and hear about. Here's a short little video talking through a few of the positions with utility services.
Hello, I'm Andrew Dinger, Director of Waterfield Operations for City of Fort Collins Utilities. And today we're out here with our stormwater maintenance crew, washing some pipes and doing some TV inspection. When you work for the City of Fort Collins Utilities, you get to do a lot of different things every day. You get to work with really large equipment like is behind us. And we're also a very innovative group that we have a lot of technology. We have iPads that we're doing work orders on. We have robots we put in the pipes, and we do those inspections with those. And all that training comes on the job. So you could be coming out of high school with not much work experience, and as long as you got a good attitude and want to work pretty hard, we can get you to work right away and start to build a great career. One of the things I enjoy about working for the City of Fort Collins is I get to make a direct impact on our community every single day. It's bigger than just the work we do. It's about supporting our community and providing a healthy and safe place to live. And I hope you take some interest in the job positions that we have available for you, and maybe look at getting a career in the City of Fort Collins Utilities.
You'll see that link again. So if you didn't get that written down. Okay. And just a few of the list of the items within utility services areas and departments. Overall, and interestingly, Fort Collins Utility is a community-owned utility. It's actually a nonprofit, so nonprofit. And it manages four things. Those are light and power, water, wastewater, and stormwater. Those are the primary areas there. Okay, another little short video. And this is kind of a neat look. This is people being asked, why do you work for the city? What is it about that? And I'll take a peek at some of those and be introduced to a few new positions. So.
I chose the City of Fort Collins to work at is because of the atmosphere and the people. This area of town is an old area, so the infrastructure is too small for the water drainage. So we have to enlarge it. The most enjoyable part of my work is the camaraderie, working with good people, and we look out for each other.
My job is basically taking storm drainage into pipes and storm sewers. And as it goes through this wetland, stormwater is going to be able to be cleaned up and treated so that we have the minimal amount of pollutants that go into the river. I started at the City of Fort Collins in 1993. Decided I wanted to do something more than just work in the private sector. I wanted to be a public service.
think about all the different public assets, water lines, sewer lines. Well, our trees are also public assets, and they're actually one of the assets that appreciate in value. The plus side about my job is that the trees are outside, and so I get to go outside a lot.
During the summertime, we're very busy keeping up with the day-to-day operations in the park. But in the wintertime, we're in charge of all the snow removal, coming in at 4 a.m., hitting it hard, trying to get all the city employees into their building safely.
My name's Antoinette, and I've worked for IT for the last 5 years. I work on the best team in IT, just so you know that one. My favorite part of the job is being able to interact with different employees within different departments. I like being able to teach people how to more efficiently do their job. The city is really concerned about our cybersecurity. We don't want anybody causing a breach within our network, really pushing our employees to watch their Ningio videos. They're going to teach you what to look for to keep hackers out of our system.
My name is Heather Cox. I'm a senior communications coordinator. CPIO is a group of graphic designers, videographers, writers. You know, a couple of words in a tweet or on a Facebook post can connect to people and let them know the city is committed to serving them.
Everything that we do is to help people. When you don't see stormwater, that's a good thing.
We always can go to our coworkers. If we have questions or concerns, or we're trying to troubleshoot an issue together, come up with solutions.
So when I often consult with employees, I ask them, what are your crazy makers? What processes are you dealing with that are making you crazy that need to be improved? Get to work with them, understand their problem and their frustrations, and get them to an end state where now that process is much easier. You can see the joy come back into their faces and like, man, that's not such a daunting task anymore.
And I love that this is an organization that is open to learning about different people and different perspectives.
Where they feel like they can bring their authentic selves to work and be their best versions of themselves.
Whether it's race, nationality, gender, sexual orientations, we need to respect each other. We're all one team.
I've had a lot of career development opportunities, and I've been able to work my way up from an hourly role back in 1995 into a crew chief who supervises the Southeast District of town.
I've been a detective, I've been a training officer, I've had an opportunity to supervise a crime scene unit. I get to do my dream job.
I'd say the favorite part of my job is probably digging. I mean, it's every kid's dream to dig dirt, make money doing it. The people are great, the community is great, the work that we do is top notch.
I feel a great sense of family, connection with all my coworkers. We can collaborate in all kinds of ways for the betterment of our community.
People care about you, they care about your health, care about your work-life balance.
I think our department's well known to be a tight-knit group. We like to have fun and enjoy what we do with each other.
My coworkers, they really all just seem like they're happy to be here, and I am too.
I would tell somebody coming on that they've made the right choice. The city is a wonderful place to work for.
It's been 26 years, it's been a career, and I feel a sense of accomplishment.
Seeing the smile on somebody's face as they're out enjoying the park.
And if things kind of go south, you know that you've got someone there who has your back.
And you're gonna love working here.
I think my favorite line was when he said, every kid wants to dig dirt and get paid for it. I was like, absolutely right. That's great. Good. Well, my next little piece of what I want to show you, it's actually maybe exhaustive. So this is a list. About a week ago, I pulled from our career site the job titles for all the jobs that we had that were open. And my hope is that you'll get first lots of jobs, that you'll see lots of variety of jobs, and in the areas that you never would have thought of before. And so I'm just take a minute and play through these. And again, these came from, some might be filled now because it's been a week, but most of them probably still open. So these are current position openings that you can see on our career site. So there's the first bunch there. Gets bigger and bigger. And I think you can see the point I'm trying to make. This is a lot of jobs, lots. And you probably notice these jobs present a wide variety of backgrounds and skills. And some you'll see are probably part-time. You know, dance instructors, probably not 40 hours a week. We're here. Few more. We have 2 more slides, I think, that many. And something worth noting is that you know, this is just one employer. The city of Fort Collins is one employer among many in Northern Colorado. And so I'm not saying look to other folks as well too, but if you're in a job search, it's good to know that with many companies, other public agencies and organizations, they're going to have unique job openings like ours. And so being willing to kind of look deeper at different jobs and job titles. I think we're close to the end there. And so my invitation really to job seekers is when you look at job postings, look deeper than just the job title. You can read the job summary or description and other details about the job. You might discover that what job that looked like it wasn't relevant for you, that maybe this is one that you've not heard of, but might be the right job for you. I encourage you to start with us with the city. Okay, now I do have our, this is our career site, if you want to jot that down, but anybody have questions? Too quiet.
I thought maybe you could walk us through. So I go to your site and I apply for the job, then what happens?
Yeah.
Because now you have these recruiter specialists.
Right, yeah, that's
you
great.
guys, right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so go to our career site, and then you'll need to, most of the applications have a couple of short little questions on there, but obviously submit your resume if you have a cover letter to submit that. Then you receive apply to acknowledge that that's been received. And then in the days or weeks to follow, you'll get follow-up, and it might be from the hiring manager. The hiring manager is the person that is actually the supervisor for the position and be making that hire, or it could be from one of us as recruiters. You know, we have 2 recruiters in a lot of jobs, so we do consulting with all the hiring managers, but in some cases that reach out will come from a hiring manager or a recruiter. I will say this: the next slide has Cameron's and my email addresses on there. And I invite you, if you apply for a job, just shoot us a note and say, hey, I applied for this particular job. And then you kind of have a person, an advocate, so to speak, in the inside to be able to help you if you need direction or navigation, or you're wondering why it's taking longer than you thought, and those kind of things too. And so, and with most other hiring processes, once you're in contact with the hiring manager with interview processes like that too, most of our interviews go through that step, and then one more that might be a small group of panel or a small group of people to interview. And depending on the level of position, some go beyond that. Some we are bringing back a lot of things in person. Not all interviews are in person, but some of them will be based on the position and what's going on that particular week with COVID and things like that too. So, but that's what I do invite you. I'm going to slide to that next slide, is this information. So if you have a question or you have a concern or you're looking at a job, and then feel free to please do that. Now, when you think about which person, you can email both of us. Cameron does most of the things in terms of utilities and a lot of the physical and engineering and those kind of things. And I do a lot of the thing. I do community services, so parks and rec and all the different places around town. And then also I do IT, I do communication, I do most of the city hall jobs like that too. So, but if you're not sure, you can just email both of us and say, hey, I'm interested in this job, or I apply for this job, that kind of thing too. And again, there's the career set up top.
Great. So Emily, I'm going to pick on you. Do you have any questions for the population that you serve?
Well, I'm glad to be picked on. Thanks for having me. Just a great presentation. Don't we live in a beautiful community? We are so lucky. So I am currently a transition coach in Poudre School District for Integrated Services, which is our students with special needs. And I taught Project Search program for a long time. Yvonne knows all about from Columbine Health Systems. And I'd love to be able to get more people with disabilities into these positions. And a lot of times we would have students start with an internship opportunity, and that might work into a paid employment option. And so, yeah, I guess my question is, how do we access those? I'm actually meeting with HR Director Karen Burke tomorrow to chat with her, which I'm really looking forward to. But do you have any other suggestions of how we can get connected, or who might be the best people to reach out to?
Yeah, we're really, believe it or not, we're really early in the process with the internships. We've had some that were through university, were unpaid internships and work on the paid. So that's hot on the front burner, but we're still figuring things out. But one thing I would suggest is that when if somebody applies for a job and there's a special situation, I wouldn't assume that somebody's going to pick that up. And so as Cameron and I, as kind of front facing recruiters, is just to let one of us know. So, hey, I have this going on, and a person applied, because again, otherwise they may be lost in this big mob of people. And really that's a big reason why the city brought a couple of recruiters in, was we could have a more personal touch on all these exceptions and different situations and things too.
That helps a lot. Thank you. Another question that popped up is, do you have any suggestions on how to guide students in creating a resume that really pops or stands out? For my population, we've looked at video resumes. Do those ever get looked at? Or is it better just to have a paper resume along with a video resume, graphics, that kind of thing? What would you suggest?
Well, a few things, like right now, with the city, and I think even I have a background with corporate recruitment and things too, is still most people use the standard paper and digital resume like that too. So, and there are things even like, we really advise for people not to put their photos on there. And that's because it invites discrimination in terms of, oh, I see that it's this person or that person. And then the other thing too is that oftentimes a person wants to make a resume, a picture of themselves, of who they are or who they have been. And the resume needs to project a little bit more about, how am I relevant for this next job? So, so for example, I had a person that was doing a video production position and applying for that. And there was a lot of administrative requirements in there, and he didn't put that on his resume. But of just knowing from the job description, what are the things that really matter? And so of making sure that they share that too. A lot of times they want it to be an instant snapshot of who they are right now, but really to match the job description or that kind of a thing too.
Thank you.
Mark, are you okay if I just jump in for a minute?
No, I was actually Lori.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Lori Wiggins. I'm the talent acquisition manager, and it's so great to Mark did a great job. I love meeting you guys. I've wanted to do this forever. Our team has just been me for 5 years and maybe one other, and it has grown to, we actually have just hired another recruiter. So we have 3 recruiters and we have a couple of coordinators. So my team's grown to about 6 or 7, and it's wonderful because Emily, as you were talking about, our internship program and, apprenticeships, we really are kind of focusing on that. Now that we have an adequate number of people, we can focus more on those things. We have a great program for our interns from CSU right now. And in engineering, we also partner with the engineering department at CSU, but we want to expand that. And so I love that you're talking to Karen about that, because it's something that we're really looking into. And we have someone specifically focused on internships now that will be able to help you with that too. So I just wanted to throw that in and let you know that there are more opportunities for us to serve the general public, because the size of our talent acquisition team has grown, and it's not just about posting jobs and getting people in. And the other thing a lot of times that people have said is that I just never hear back, or I never. And we will be able to connect with people at a much better level now and inform you of where you are in the process, and not just leave you hanging. I know that's the worst feeling, is to apply for a job and just not know what's going on. So lots of new things happening. I just wanted to kind of jump in, and Mark and Cameron have been amazing recruiters and able to help our managers so they don't feel so lost in the process, because they're not recruiters. And so, to have them recruit for a job, they may not know what questions to ask. Or so now we have Mark and Cameron and Karina as our other recruiter who will be assisting our managers in that process. So it's all really exciting, and I appreciate you having us here to kind of explain that.
Thanks, Lori, for explaining that. I'm really excited to hear that you are having an internship program. That's wonderful. I also work with the career and innovation team with Poudre School District, and I know we're always looking for new and exciting internship opportunities for students, and ways that we can do job shadows and workplace tours, to get information out there to help teach our students what's out there, and get them a little more familiar with the jobs, and then maybe get them connected with those jobs. So that's wonderful. So I'm excited to continue with the process.
Well, and the great thing is we want to build those pipelines, and, from the high schools and from the community colleges. There's a lot of kids these days, and I mean, it's getting so expensive to go to school, that trade jobs are awesome and they're really coming back. So, we want to encourage people to get those skills, because you can do very well in a trade and not have to have a 4-year degree. So we also took out of all of our job postings that you have to have a degree. So unless it's like required by law, like a lawyer, if we're looking for equal experience, it doesn't have to be a degree anymore. So encouraging people that may not apply for jobs because they don't have a degree to go ahead and apply. If you have experience, and some of our jobs will start you at the ground level and help you. So.
Great. Well, we have a new and exciting website, Poudre School District, called Future Ready. So if you have an extra couple minutes, you could check out Future Ready, Poudre School District. And that's kind of our overall umbrella for general ed, gifted and talented, ELD students, IS students, all the acronyms. And it has links to all these different contacts and people. And so if you get a minute, it's a great website to look at, and we've got some really cool opportunities on there, and we're always looking to get some more internships and connect with more folks, and help that pipeline along. So
great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh or Nancy, do you have any questions or comments you'd like to make? No.
Just a smile.
No worries. I would put a quick plug in. When I was at Columbine Health Systems, our project search program was absolutely a very successful program, in the fact that the students that we were able to have and try practicum and internships, many of them then were hired, and they're still there. They're working 6-10 years later.
Wow.
Constant students constant employees that contribute. And I will tell you that it added to the diversity of our workplace more than anything else could. I mean, our seniors loved it, our families, our coworkers. I have left Columbine, and I'm still connected to quite a few of them who are lifelong friends of mine forever, for sure. So it's great that you guys are opening up internships and really looking at that diversity of your workforce too. That'll be great.
Well, and I just have to brag a little, because I just hired one of our interns, came in to do, and he was an intern for about 3 months, left to go do some traveling, and we just hired him on the talent acquisition team as a coordinator. And, it's a great way to get your foot in the door, get people to know you, get some experience. And, if you do a good job, you just never know what that's going to lead to. So that's the other thing, is I really feel like internships are a great way to kind of make an impression on people, and it'll really jumpstart your career. So we really are excited about getting more involved with that. And, a lot of our positions that are more physical, the internships and the apprenticeships really help with that. So we're excited to expand that program. We have a lot of work to do.
Well, great. Are there any other questions or comments or anything else you want to add to this great conversation this morning?
Hi. I do have a question. actually.
Do it.
But you first. Go, Nancy.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Yes. So my position is new. I'm the human resources manager for Dome Construction here in Fort Collins. And we traditionally in the past, the position was a merged position with payroll. So having a standalone human resources has been very beneficial so far. At least I may be biased, but it is something. Looking at the Future Ready site, thank you for sharing that, Emily. Looking at that site, we are participating in Construction Con coming up in November. So that is something that we are interested in developing, is how to encourage people to go into those trades and more construction-based positions, which we also have our typical college graduates that become project managers as well. So it is something we partner with CSU on that piece, but we are trying to partner with other groups and schools beyond CSU. So great information today. I appreciate all the information, learning more about the city of Fort Collins and seeing all of these opportunities. So thank you.
Nancy, what's the name of the company you're with?
Dohn, D-O-H-N Construction.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh, I think you're up.
Oh, maybe I'll get myself in trouble here. Let's see. Am I off the record? I'm just kidding. It's recording, right? I know. The vaccination status, is that a requirement?
No.
It is not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Awesome. And I appreciate Nancy you lifting up the Construction Con event. That's part of the NOCO Construction Sector Partnership. And so I know the city and the Economic Development Office, and Shannon Hine, who was on the video, is super involved with that, and Sana Kendall and others with the city as well. So, and I knew your name was familiar. I've put an invoice with your name on it here. So we're the fiscal agent for the Construction Sector Partnership. So
Well, I'd mentioned too, the Larimer County is hugely helpful in all this area, internship, apprenticeship, connecting and things like that too. And so we ran into people from another construction company that really had a very mature apprenticeship program and things too. So.
great. All right, so next week, the talent series will continue, but it's the Workforce Symposium being held at Ames at their new Welcome Center. If you've ever been there, it's amazing with great views of the Front Range. So that's a partnership with Larimer County and Weld County Workforce Systems to help small business to learn about work. So there's going to be more information about sector partnership and work-based learning. I do believe it's closed. They did fill the 300 positions there, the attendance that they needed at 300. So that's great. So we'll continue again with our next one on October 7th, I think, 6th, I think is when our next one is. So thank you for joining us today for jobs you've never heard of at the city. I did think, man, I want to go work for the city after watching all the videos.
Come on over.
I'm here.
And I had no idea how much wastewater or the
All that
numbers. It was totally crazy of the work the city does every day for us. So thank you. And again, a special shout out to iHeartMedia, who is our sponsor for Talent Series. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we will send this video out to you. So if you want any more information, it'll always be stored on our website, our Talent Series, part of our Fort Collins Chamber website. So have a good rest of your day and stay dry this afternoon.
Thank you.
Everybody.